everybody, it's Wednesday. I am actually doing the booktuber thing and doing a book review video in front of a bookcase. You guys seem to like the book reviews, you always leave me cool suggestions, you always talk to me about the books that you've read. 2 book reviews ago it was all Beauty and the Beast books. Last book review was all non-fiction. This book review is all fiction and all of the books are written by women. I am a lady author, so I have to support my fellow lady authors. So without further ado, the first book I'll be talking about today is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. If I remember correctly, I found this book on a list of LGBTQIA books. I'll Give You the Sun is actually about these 2 twins, Noah and Jude, and they are both narrators. They tell the story from different points in their lives. Noah is an artist and he speaks in very flowery, arty terms. Jude is a little bit less of an artist. Like, her whole life doesn't revolve around art. A lot of the events surround their journey of self-acceptance and coming out of the closet, in Noah's case, reconciling the expectations of what their parents want with what they want, and also trying to garner the affections of their parents. They both blame each other and themselves for the big event that happens. I think my main complaints with this book lied in 2 or 3 areas. The biggest one for me was Noah. I thought he was kind of whiny and a little quick to make judgments and push blame onto other people, especially Jude. The second thing that I didn't quite buy with this book was that it is kind of very tropey. And that in itself is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're going to use tropes to subvert them, but I don't think Jandy Nelson really does that, and I don't think she really set out to do that. Jude has this kind of flirtationship throughout the book with this guy that she meets. He is basically a walking trope. He wears a leather jacket, and he drives a motorcycle, and he has an English accent, and he has duochrome eyes, and he's got a tragic backstory, so of course, Jandy Nelson really wants you to fall in love with this guy. 13-year-old Paige that wrote fanfiction and read fanfiction, like, really appreciated that, really fell in love with this guy. 23-year-old Paige who has a bachelor's degree in creative writing and learned what tropes do to writing and readers. Yeah, I wasn't so hot about that, especially like towards the end of the book. In general, Jandy Nelson's writing is quite enjoyable. There were just some things that I wasn't so hot about, but that's it. So now we are getting into the books that did devastate me emotionally and a little bit physically. The first one being The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, or Madeline Miller. Not sure how she pronounces it, but in any case, this is the first book in my entire life. Had me in a puddle of tears at the end and also made me want to reread it immediately. So if you know anything at all about the Iliad and Achilles, you pretty much know what happens in this book. This book is actually told through the perspective of Patroclus, who is Achilles' companion in the Iliad. They trust each other with their lives, and that is important. So Patroclus is a prince in this small Greek kingdom. He does something really horrible and gets banished, and he gets sent to go live with Achilles and his father. They grow up together. That's basically most of the book, is that this whole journey is just their story together, and the only thing I'll spoil about it is that they are definitely 110% gay. That's just how this book works. There's no 2 ways about it. They are gay. Basically, from the time that they're about 16 through the end of the book, their story just gets more and more tragic. If you know anything about the Trojan War, you know how this is gonna end. These last 2 books are in a series. I'm gonna talk about one, then try to talk about the other without giving too much away, and then talk about them together as a whole. These are the 2 of them. The first one is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, and the second one is A Torch Against the Night, also by Saba Tahir. So An Ember in the Ashes actually follows 2 characters. There's Laia of Sarah, who is a young woman who loses almost her entire family, and then the rest of her story is mostly trying to find and save her brother. The other character is Elias Viturius, who is a young man on a self-identifying journey type deal. In this book, he is attending what is basically a military academy to become what they call masks. They are very well trained and skilled assassins in the Empire, which is the world in which this book takes place. He and Laia cross paths when she is sold into slavery to spy on the Commandant, I think is how you say the title of this character. She's a terrible person. I hate her. Everybody that reads the book hates her. just, oh, she is the worst. For most of the book, Laia is terrified of the people around her and is mostly just trying to get by so that she can get information to save her brother. This book ends in a bout of chaos, just that's all I'll say about that. And A Torch Against the Night picks up immediately after this one ends, so I'm just gonna move into that one now. This book is actually told from the perspective of 3 characters rather than 2 like the first one. The third character is Elias's former best friend. I hesitate to say that because it's very clear that they still care about each other a lot, but this character, Helene, who is my small child, but she's very large and lethal and could probably kill me before I would claim her as my child. But anyway, I think Helene as a narrator adds a lot to this book because there is so much of the world that 2 narrators don't get to see on their journey, even if their journeys are together for the most part. So then we get this third narrator that comes in to give us everything else that we're missing. I'm not gonna hold them anymore because my arm hurts, but I loved these books so much. I heard a lot of really great things about them. They are fantastically written, the world is very immersive, and so is Sabaa Tahir's writing style. So those are the 4 books that I most recently read. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. In the comments below, let me know what books you would like me to review. And if you have read any of the books that I talked about today, go ahead and leave those in the comments. I specifically make these book review videos because a lot of these books I have read and like nobody else that I know has, so I need to talk about these things with people. If you're not already subscribed to The Princess and the Scrivener, please do so down below or wherever the little circle thing is. Especially if you would like to see more videos on Disney, intersectional feminism, pop culture critiques, book reviews, and more. I know that Sarah has not posted in a while, and that is because some personal things went down in her life. Hopefully Sarah will have something ready next week.